Let's go.
Okay, this is the third Zoom meeting of the CTCA, the California High School Tennis Coaches Association. My name is A.G. Longoria, the president.
Zoran Korak.
Andrea Dodd.
Hold on, I'm playing with the buttons. Bill Patton. Okay.
Okay, we've missed a couple of times in a row because of different being sick and traveling and all that kind of stuff. First of all, I want to report on the grant that we applied for. They loved the grant, the one that was with ABC and Telemundo, which is was a $50,000 grant. They gave out 10 of them, but they told us, I don't know if he's just blowing smoke, but he said that their criteria is that you have to be in business more than a year, which we met. We met all the criteria except one. You have to have been given at least $100,000 or raised $100,000 before they give you any money. And that we didn't make that. So I guess we'll have to wait till we've collected $100,000 and then in donations before we can apply again. But there's a new grant I found with FedEx, and they have $255,500 that they give out to 10 people. But it's all over the nation. It's not just California. So it might be a little harder, but there are no restrictions like that. And so I've got, actually, thank you for the Bill, for sending that name of the person, that the grant writer. I think we need to do that. But I have my, he's on our board, Carlos Aguera. He's an engineer, he's an attorney, and he helped me write a thing like that. So I'm going to go with that one more time with this. And then we're going to look into USTA to see, I know they have grants. They got to have some grants that we can pursue that, because we are helping tennis. And I know we're getting a very positive response from the SCTA. They honored us for the Marguerite, which is a tournament that we pushed to have, which is the Ojai South, or the Ojai for girls. So that's what's going on with the grant. Our UTRs, it's like we're snake bit. We've had a massive total rain out, like where it rains all day, and then also the weather reporting, it's been raining all week for months. And I don't know, all of the high school coaches here are freaking. I just got an email from one coach that says he's looking to put his kids in UTR. It's Kirk Orhood at J. Sarah, because he's only had one match. I've only played two, I had 3 practices. And then the one match that we played, Zorn was there, we were freezing our butt off. It was so cold, So
you're getting Northern California weather.
How about Texas? How about Texas?
Yeah.
Right. So I went to Hank Lloyd has the 37th annual. He does it for the girls team and the boys in the fall and the spring. He has this workshop, and over 250 kids, 25 teams come. They pay $20. And then he has a pro in each court, and they rotate. I've actually been doing it. Zorn and I have been working at one of the courts, but this year, for the first time, he is totally sponsored by Babolat, and they insisted that they have a Babolat pro on each court, which is fine. I'm with Wilson. You don't get paid for it. You just get some Gatorade. But I asked him if we could pass out the flyers. I made a flyer with our stuff, and then the UTR stuff on what UTR is in the back. And I stood at the check-in stand where they pay their $20, and when they sign up, I gave everybody a flyer. I talked to the coaches, so it looked pretty positive. And parents would come up and ask me what this is or whatever. And I think most of the kids that were there, not all of them, because they're kind of lower level, a lot of them knew what UTR was. So I think it's going to go. But from last Saturday to now, they can look on the weather report. It's going to rain like hell. So they're not signing it. We have one sign up. I talked to Andrea on the phone just a little bit, and she suggested we need to do it anyway. And maybe it's only a 40% chance, but my report here was 85% chance of rain. In fact, my match on Friday is probably going to rain out. Anybody want to comment?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's open until Friday, right, at noon?
That's correct.
I mean, so I wouldn't cancel it yet. Let's just wait. We've got to get one under our belt. So, maybe just wait and see, what,
Right.
and don't call it until Friday, I guess.
Well, that's fine.
Another thing to think about would maybe, with all due respect, is maybe go completely the other way and say, all right, let's look at the long range weather. Look at when does it look like it's going to break, and then that'll also introduce more lead time, because if it looks like it's going to be raining half the days for the next 2 or 3 weeks, why not go 4 weeks out? And then there's a lot more lead time, because it's really important to have, enough lead time for people to understand what the program is, where is it, who's going, and get those signups going. It's really tough to run something under 6 weeks. Generally, I try not to run anything unless I've had a good 2 months of lead time beforehand. So, I don't know if doing something in May is possible, but, it might be better to plan for very end of March, early April.
Well, they already have the schedules already planned out.
We have one on the 23rd, which is 4 weeks. So I think that we'll have plenty of time to. This one will be probably the one, but this will probably not make or will be very small. But this one will, I think, by the 23rd, if we have good weather, that should be fine. They have plenty of time. Also, I checked with
23rd of March.
23rd of March.
Okay, got it.
So I checked with the local newspaper, and what I forgot to do, and talking to the editor, sports editor, said, why can't we get this in here? And he said, well, we don't advertise unless it's a charity event. And I forgot to put on the press releases that it's for charity, because I'm rewriting the press releases.
Yeah.
We're trying to raise money to buy a ball machine and rebuild our tennis shed and buy more tennis balls and stuff like that. So he said it will go in here if it's a charity event, and so that's the tactic.
Oops.
Yeah, I just looked at the weather right now, and it says 40 to 50% Saturday. So, and the crazy part is that maybe you guys don't understand is when Southern Cal people hear 40, 50% chance, they're like, it's done. Where you guys are like, well, it's maybe going to rain for an hour or two and then dry it up, and then that's it.
Right. Different mindset.
Their mindset, as well as being kind of beginner to JV type of level. That's kind of the bummer. The also big bummer is we're having a little bit of a hard time even getting some of the kids on AG's team to sign up. So one of the things that another outlier type of idea is possibly just for the first one, making it an open house, and just kind of having it for free or something like that. I don't know what you guys think about that, just to kind of get people in the door, just to,
I'm steadfastly against anything ever being free.
Okay.
And the reason is because the only people you attract are the ones who don't value anything.
Right.
They'll come when it's free, and when it costs something, you'll never see them again.
Yep.
So I would be okay with like an insider's discount. So if you called coaches and you said directly, and you said, hey, if you invite your player, not only will we give them $5 off, but we will also give you $5 for every player you get. That's something that we've done in NorCal here. We have something called the USPTA Junior Cup events, and they're pretty inexpensive. And the coach gets a kickback of $5 for every player that they sign up.
So just like some incentives.
Yeah, so offering a little incentive to the coach, or, you know, hey, we're making T-shirts and you also get a T-shirt, you know, to celebrate the event, you know. Just some little perks for the coaches go a long way.
Okay,
But yeah, or one thing that I've done too, especially with my USTA tournaments, I would offer to all my tennis pro friends that if they signed up 4 or 5 players or more, that I would give them 20% off on their sum total thing. And then what you get is you get teams of kids showing up, and it makes the tournament more fun anyway. So, I mean, there's lots of different ways to do it. I mean, you might want to say, hey, if you get 5 kids, we'll give you 20% off the entry fee.
You know, that's what Hank Lloyd does at Costa Mesa at his showcase. He has pre-signups where the coach sends in like 10 names, 15 names, and he gets a discount and he gets something. So I know because I'm sitting there and they're coming in here, a whole team of 20 guys with a coach, and they all sign up, and it's prepaid, and he pays a little bit. They pay a little bit less. So that's something to think about. Well, at any rate, I have a match today, and I've already sent out letters in Passion that said, look, this can make money for Laguna Hills High School. Our budget, we won't have to ask parents for money, but they started. I said that I went and passed out 200 flyers, and I said, but they're going to look and see who signed up. So just sign up for the first week or the first month, the 2 of them, the one this Saturday and the one at the end of the month. If you don't play any others, we got to have you have some names in there. So when people 5, 6, 7, 8 people already sign up, they'll sign up. So I'm going to lean on them very heavily. I'll talk to all the parents at the match today, and then I will have a massive blowout, and I'm going to try to get this thing in the Saddleback News, which comes out Thursday. I can send it tonight. I've already talked to the guy about, that it's a charity event, and we're going to raise money for this, and we're going to, poor us, we've got all these Latinos and all this stuff, and we want to buy this ball machine, which we already got, but we're going to buy it, and then we're going to do this, get some bleachers and stuff like that. So I think we'll sell that. So we'll go all out. I'm going to call Kurt back as soon as we get off the line and tell him that we're on, get his kids in here, and even if we just have 8 or 9 or 10, we'll do it. And the good thing is that the entries close at noon, but we don't have to give them times till 6 p.m. on Friday. So we can look at and if it looks like it's going to rain in the morning, we can set it for 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and the kids will know, and the parents will know when to play, because we're certainly not going to be filled up,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's good to, if it's not going to be filled up, then I think it would be good to advertise that it's not going to start, say, before 10 a.m. or something. Okay. And then, because, some people sort of dread those 8 a.m. start times. Right. So if and then also that gives you a little bit of a cushion in case it rains overnight. You can squeegee and get the courts done by 10 or 11, and then you have a minimal delay.
When is the rain supposed to start? I thought the rain didn't start until Saturday. I don't know.
Yeah, Saturday.
I just see. I mean, usually you can. I mean, I wouldn't know till.
Yeah, the rain's not starting until Saturday. It says overcast with rain showers at times, and then Saturday night as well. It's going to rain, but.
Well, you know what? We can make that decision. We can look at the latest weather thing on Friday, And
Right.
and say if it's going to rain in the afternoon, we said we'll play everything in the morning. If it looks like it's going to be raining in the morning, we'll set it for 1 o'clock. We can put because they will call back or check the website and find out when their flight plays. Or it's probably going to be so small, there's only going to be 2 flights. We can just say it's going to start at 1 o'clock, or it's going to start at 2 o'clock, or 10 o'clock, or something like that.
Got it.
Yeah.
Also, Andrea is going to be here to help and run the thing. And also, she's more computer literate than I am. And she and I are going to get together, and we're going to get Bill the pictures in JPEG. Or, sorry about that. I just,
You want it in JPEG?
or is that what you want, JPEG? Bill, what do you want the pictures in?
JPEG, largest possible file sizes.
Okay.
If you want to Dropbox them to me at schooloftennis@gmail.com, that can work.
Hey, School of Tennis.
At Gmail.
I have a Dropbox account. I don't know how to use it, but I got it. So,
Andrea will help you with that.
so if
I'll try. Yeah.
Okay. Also, I have a little news. My team had one of its first matches, and one of the coaches is in a league that I used to coach in, so we're pretty friendly. And he's really into UTR. So now the 2 of us are going to start pushing UTR in our respective leagues.
Oh yeah.
And now his league has 7 teams, and when everybody has a team, they have 12 teams total. So it could be a way for some of those teams to come back, because they've been having a problem with keeping kids engaged at the lower schools.
Yeah.
My league is an interesting one because we're part of a 4-league conference. So we have 4 leagues that make up one conference that each have 7 or 8 teams. So if we can get UTR going in the East, then there's a good chance that it can migrate to the West and the South and the North of this conference, which pretty much is like most of the private schools in the Bay Area. So geographically, there's a lot of opportunity for reach there, and, a pretty well-to-do clientele of go-getters, that, can get things going.
Now, the whole thing about doing these 8 events that we have now, 6 left at Laguna Hills High School was a test so that in September we can sell this to all schools in the entire state. Do you think your teams up there in this conference or the leagues or whatever would want to do a play date to raise money, or do they need to raise money?
Well, I'm taking my kids to the California Tennis Classic in Fresno coming up here, right? This on Thursday, we leave for that. So next week, I'm going to get busy with my athletic director to see about running a UTR through my school.
Okay.
So I'll pilot it, and then, once I do one that's successful and get some kids from the local high schools playing, then it has a chance to spread, and then it's a do as I do thing instead of a do as I say.
Well, one of the reasons that I ask you that, for example, we have Sage Hill School, which I've been a part of building. It's $40,000 a year to go to school there, and they don't really raise money that way. They kind of don't let you raise money because they hit the parents up for $50,000, $100,000.
Right.
But they get everything. They get everything. So I didn't know whether your private schools were in the same boat, or they would let the coaches and the teams raise money.
My private school is more in the tradition of the Sisters of Mercy. I don't know if you know the mission of the Sisters of Mercy, but they're very much into extending educational opportunities for underserved kids. Okay. So we have a certain cross-section of, well-to-do parents, whose kids are going Ivy League, but we also have, some kids from East Oakland who are in on scholarship.
Right.
So fundraising is acceptable,
Okay.
So, but sometimes I get this attitude, oh, that should be included because we already pay enough at this school.
Right. That's
It should be part of my tuition. I'm like, nah. Yeah, $86 for 2 nights in a hotel room, you can handle it.
Right. Okay. That sounds good.
So, but yeah, I mean, we'll do it as a fundraiser for our program.
Okay.
And that's the only way we'll be able to get access to the community college courts where we play.
Got it. Oh, also, I was talking to Zorn. UTR took $300 out of my account, which I didn't know about. I don't know why, but we're going to check on that because we were under the impression. Go ahead.
It was part of the setup fee to get it started and stuff. So I feel like we were under the impression when we were going through it with Tina, who Dave Fish referred us to, that it was going to be kind of comped. I believe when we went to the Texas convention, that Dave Fish offered it to all the high school coaches comped for the first year.
In Texas.
So that's I felt like you did ask that, and they said, yeah, no problem, for our group, but.
Okay, so
I thought when we were down in Texas that it was comped, but they had to sign up by a certain date.
Okay.
I thought that was the whole plan, was that all the Texas
Right. If they gave us a date and it ran out, our argument is going to be we got rained out. We couldn't have 2 of them because they rained out. We might not have 3, so you can't penalize. We'll see. We'll work it out.
So, so are you saying that any school that wants to get set up to run the tournaments is going to pay a one-time $300 setup fee?
That's what it has been.
Right.
I mean, that's what they're doing.
Okay.
That's what we're trying to do with the CTCA. We will pay my concept is that the CTCA, you'll be contracting with the CTCA. So if your school or a school in Northern Cal or La Jolla or whatever wants to have a Saturday 1-day play day, we'll set it up. We'll put it in the UTR website. They sign up. The money comes to us, and we keep half, and half goes to the school. So we're in partnership with UTR, but we're the middleman. So they don't have to pay the $300. Each school, in other words, we're going to be, the CTCA is going to contract with UTR to run all these tournaments.
Okay. So how much should we talk about how much CTCA would take from the income of a tournament?
All right. The CTCA takes 10%.
Oh, okay. All right. Because you said 50% a second ago, and
basically, or what's our entry? $30.
Yeah.
All right, $30. They get 3, so that's 27. And of that 27, half goes to CTA and the other. So that's $13.50 for the school per entry, $13.50 to CTCA, and $3 that goes to UTR. I think that's fair, unless if you guys think it's not fair.
I don't know. I think it'd be good to think this through a little bit more and say, okay, if I would say in the case where CTCA board members are intimately involved in running the event, that a 50% take is appropriate. Okay. But like, for instance, Junior Grand Prix tennis, which I was doing, took 25%. And then they also had a threshold that once your tournament had over, say, 100 entrants, then they only took 20% of everything over the top. Then they only took 20%. So having those thresholds, because 20% is a pretty healthy commission especially if you're not really if it's not labor intensive. it's pretty hard to justify taking 50% and not really working for it.
Right. Well, I mean, but AG's doing all the ones at his facility, so.
Right. So the ones where you're intimately involved in them, yeah. So I think so we should come up with, you know, different things on the menu. You know, run it all yourself, and you know, we take 20%, 25%, and then once you build your program to where you're over 100, then we want to incentivize that by taking just a slightly lower percentage, because then again, it's, you know, once they're successful and they're off and running, then it becomes this cash cow, and you incentivize people doing, you know, building them up.
In AG's business plan, I think he had it to where if we do the work, then yeah, we get, you know, the 50, and if you supply the courts and supply the balls and supply the being the director and checking in, and it was much lower. I think it was somewhere around 20-25% or so.
Okay, so awesome.
So
we need to get that in writing. We need to have a written structure. And I'd propose, because I was attracted by keeping 75%. I thought that was fine. I was happy with that. I think that'll be attractive to people. And I also liked the fact that it's scaled upward, you know.
So basically, that's what this spring is. Just that we can have time to think about it, see how it's going, and showcase it to coaches so that say they want it. Now, this is the thing. The CTCA, if you want to have a huge tournament and make it UTR, that's your privilege. We're not taking, UTR is not going to give us everything, but I want the Saturday play days to be our exclusive thing. Now, obviously, you could, if you want to do your own version of it, fine, but I prefer the whole that we sell at this, and we get people, we want to get high school kids to have UTR points in the system. And get people to do it. But we're not going to say, if you're going to have a 3-day tournament or a high school tournament that's Northern California, whatever, invitational, that you don't go out and sanction that UTR. That's up to the, you know, we're not infringing on that. The Saturday play days, at least for right now, is all that we're interested in. I mean,
so we're going to call them sanctioned CTCA play day or something.
Right. And we do, and we set it up, and then, like, you have a choice. You check A if you want us to run it and you get less, or check B, you run it and you get more.
Right. Yeah. No, that sounds great. And and then set people free to do larger events if they want, and then that becomes a really positive conduit for that. And then, you know, with that, if they check, you know, if they're doing a play day, then the other benefit is that they get us helping market it for them.
Right.
So we don't have tremendous marketing reach at this time, but now that I'm well and I'm getting some projects out of the way, I'm going to start developing the social media platform, and I'm going to get busy on that a lot more next week.
Okay.
So we do have the a YouTube channel that I posted one of these onto. I made the mistake of overwriting some files, so some of our meetings got we have 10 more minutes here.
Okay.
But anyway, I made the mistake of overwriting some files, so I'm learning from that, and so now I know that once I save this, I have to rename it, and so I'll then upload this, and so the YouTube channel's ready to go. It's time to. I'll be creating a Facebook page and a Twitter and an Instagram. So we'll need to get pictures from the tournaments and all that, so we can post them on the CTCA Instagram. And as much as possible, we should use the hashtags high school tennis and hashtag CTCA.
By the way, the UTR site on the you can put pictures, and then after the event is over, they have it down the bottom. You can add 50 pictures. So that if you see the last tournament, you can see. I kind of loaded 50 pictures on the first, the header. I got one more thing that I want to ask you about. There is a slight possibility that I can make a deal with Inside Tennis, and I can't remember his name.
Bill Simons.
Bill Simon.
He's slippery. Bill Simons is kind of slippery.
I know, but this is the thing. I want to approach him. His wife's father is a big tennis guy down in La Jolla, down in San Diego, and he said he could get him to get us. I said, to get started, we need to have a free page for 1 year, and then we'll pay whatever rate we agree to, or a half a page or something. What do you think? Do you think Inside Tennis is worth pursuing, or?
It's a great magazine. I mean, it's incredibly well written. It's one of the more influential magazines in the world, and it's sort of dedicated to California tennis. So I think it's a great resource for sure. You know, I've just had some interesting interactions with Bill, and sometimes things that had been agreed to turn out different later. So, you know, get it all in writing, and we should probably have a meeting before we all approve of, yeah, that's what we want to do. And he's not, you know, having dealt with him a lot, I'd be surprised if he did something at no cost up front. That would really surprise me. And if he promises, okay, if you buy this much ad space, you can get so much write-up.
How he does it.
Then I would nail him down to how many words, how many issues, and can we get that in writing? Which issues, right? I mean, and how many words is really important, because when your write-up is 3 sentences in shots behind the baseline, you know, at the very back,
right. Well,
that's not quite as influential as an article.
I was the director of the Private Tennis Club Association of Orange County, and we bought a half-page ad, and for the half-page ad, of course, then we got a full page, and we would put all the stuff, the Newport Beach Tennis Club, the Palisades Club, the Racket Club of Irvine, who won this and that, and pictures and everything like that. So I know that's the kind of his editorial system.
Yeah.
You know, the SCTA has got a page or two that they pay for them, obviously. So, you know, if we
Why not start there?
Let me just explore it without obviously signing any contracts, and then we'll discuss the deal and see if we can work it out.
Yeah.
Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah.
Yep. So it says here we have 5 minutes and 30 seconds left.
Okay, logo.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Find somebody to get a logo.
Okay.
My recommendation is to go with 99 Designs. It's pretty amazing. And so for $400, what happens is we take a style test, and then what happens is it turns into a contest with artists to create the logo that you want. And I just got a logo made for tennis.life, which I love. And it's iconic. I mean, it's different. There's nothing like it in tennis.
What's the name of the place again?
It's 99designs.com. So I strongly recommend that, because what happens is it becomes a contest, and you get 10 or 12 or 15 different artists all vying for the job. And then, so I can head that effort up, and then also you know, make it open to, you know, feedback from everybody here as to, you know, what do they like, and then we can refine it. And I'm also I've been doing logos, and I've done art direction, so to speak. I've worked with lots of artists, and I know how to communicate with them to get the changes that we want communicated. That's an art in itself, is working with artists. So
Okay, well,
So
bailiwick. I just want to say until we get a little bit more money in here, I can't afford $400 right now.
okay, so let's not move on that yet, but that'll be an important thing
For a
to
grand,
do.
before we get a couple of these tournaments under our belt, I get my income tax back or something, camp money. I'll put it in there. I'll put as much as I can into it.
Yeah.
So
Now,
let's stick with what we got for right now. I know that's pretty simplistic and all.
Now, here's a thought is we can probably, this is something to table and talk about maybe next time, would be opening up membership to coaches. And so, I mean, look, just spitballing, what if we had an annual fee of $40 a year to be a CTCA coach? And then, but we launch it for early birds, and they could get it for $20 for 2019, right? So
Okay.
if we could raise some money by getting some foundational member coaches to join. So 2 minutes and 30 seconds left.
Okay.
So that's something we can probably talk about next week.
Think about it this week and talk about it next week. So I'm basically done for now, and I'll see Andrea this weekend, and we'll get your stuff to Bill.
All right, awesome.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all.
All right,
Bye.
take care.
I'll check with you when you come in, and you're doing the same thing. You're flying to San Diego and driving up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. I'll be talking to you. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.